The talking downstairs puts her to sleep at night. Listening to the whispers exchanging words, she is at peace as the world slowly shuts down around her. She gazes up at the ceiling and drifts off to another nap. When the sunlight streams in the following morning, the whispering is still there. This time it has a quiet tone because of the time of morning, when the world is still half asleep. The volume is peaceful, but slowly gets louder as she stumbles down the stairs into the light-filled living room. She enters into her favorite part of Sunday mornings, those conversations that would start the last day of the weekend. Sometimes, before her careful descent, she sits upstairs on the top step and strains herself to listen in on the conversations of the voices down below. She never thinks it to be eavesdropping. She had been curious from the day she was born. She loves being the third voice to enter into those Sunday morning conversations and would wait for the perfect moment. For the most part, she is the loudest, at first entrancing the others in stories about life and nature and what it means to be a kid. There are so many new things happening around her that she has to share with her loved ones. The others listen intently, and as her breakfast stories wrap up, dishes are done and the day begins. For the rest of the day, the voices remain at their usual level, but sometimes they would get louder. She hid that one June day when the voices turned to screams. There was shouting back and forth, but she remained on her top step, listening carefully between tears. There was nothing that frightened her more than shouting. Sitting at the top of the stairs that night had a different feeling. Gone was the excitement of making an entrance, replaced by fear of confrontation and conflict that was happening at the bottom of the twisted steps. But within minutes, the voices were together again downstairs, settled into the living room couch. What had happened a few minutes before was forgotten. A few years passed, with the same routines every Sunday morning, seeming like they would always stay the same. But life was changing. Her routines were suddenly gone, changed only a few years after they had begun. She had never thought of the inevitable end of these simple mornings, because she was too young to think that far ahead. Instead of 3 voices every Sunday morning, there would be 2, or 4, or 6, rushing around in the chaotic household. After she had adjusted to this chaos, her life changed again, rather drastically. One evening, when the sun had set in the west and the light drained from the living room as it did every day, there were many voices downstairs. They came together to create white noise that she could hear in between thoughts as she sat on her top step. It was overwhelming to hear that many voices all at once, together downstairs. She could hear worried tones and felt the tension beneath the words. She'd had enough of this, but there was no way to escape. She retreated to the furthest corners of her room, but the voices followed her like the buzzing of mosquitoes. When they peaked in volume, she shut them out, and life fell silent for a while. But she still spent many days perched on the top step, listening for a voice of days gone by to return. Even when the voices downstairs died out, the buzzing in her head kept her up at night, and distant in the day. Irritating and ubiquitous, the buzzing continued for months. There will never be another voice to replace the one lost. Maybe one day there will be 3 voices again, but never the same 3. She hoped, falling asleep every night, that one day she would be one of the voices downstairs, with the little one perched on the step listening in, creating their own Sunday morning memories. That thought gave her peace and helped her fall asleep. The buzzing has gone down since then, but there will always be a distant hum in her ears of time lost. Sunday mornings are different for her now, but she will always remember the feeling of the carpet beneath her feet, the green tint of the living room walls, and the warm smiles greeting her as she made her sleeping entrance.